Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of my FM21 Stay with Puskas. Before we get straight into the game against Ferencváros, I've got some good news and some bad news. So the good news is, in those two games that I played off camera, in one of those, MTK actually dropped points. So that meant we were above them. But the bad news is that we did as well. So we beat Komarom 3-0 away from home, and then we drew against ZTE 0-0. We had the upper hand for the entirety of the match, and we really deserved to get the win, but we didn't. We only got a draw, only got 1 point, and that means that we dropped down to third place again. MTK do have a game in hand, but look at that point gap. We are 8 points now behind Ferencváros and 5 behind MTK. So if we beat Ferencváros here today, we are 5 points behind them and 2 points behind MTK, and we still have to play MTK. So, but we do really have to beat Ferencváros to stand any kind of chance of even becoming second. So that's not good at all. So this is going to be the team that's going to try to do it for us. Dala, Kushnir, Komaromi, Bobal, Kashtar, Ksonka, Benye, Gruber, Gazdakis, and Nemeth. Let's get straight into it. So here is the kickoff for probably one of the most important games of this season yet. If you don't count the European games, of course. The most important game of the domestic season yet. We have to win, as I said, we have to win to stand a chance of even becoming second. And it's against Ferencváros. It is at home. We just beat them at home in the cup. Even though we did get knocked out in the end. But we have to pick up the 3 points here if we want to compete for the title and for that second place. I really do want to get at least second place again. But I would love to still be battling for that title come the end of the season. But Mirto Uzuni makes it 1-0 for Ferencváros, and that could be the possible knockout blow for us, not only in this match but in the entire season, and that is not what we like to see. MTK did already play their game against Budafolk. They did draw it in the end, I believe, because it does say it's 0-0, and they did already play their game. I know that much, but maybe their goals just aren't in that list yet. I'm not sure, but the most important thing we have to focus on is, of course, our own game against Ferencváros right here, which we are losing at this point. So, the youth intake happened. You saw that last episode. Everybody who we wanted to sign up, we did. Of course, as they always do, everybody accepted their contract. You know, speaking of which, I've never seen youth players not accepting their contract, so that they definitely don't want to join you. I've never seen that. Maybe that's a cool feature for some time in the future, that youth players actually, because, you know, we can poach youth players from other clubs pretty easily. But they never do that the other way around, or at least I haven't seen that yet. So maybe that's a cool feature for maybe FM22 to add into the game, as Imran Nemeth makes it 1-1 just 55 seconds into the second half. So it's still all to play for here in the second half, unless they get a goal immediately right now. Luckily we clear it. But yeah, maybe that's a cool feature for FM22, that other clubs will poach your youth players too, just like you will do to them. I mean, I know it happens in real life, as Steven Lukumi makes it 2-1 for Ferencváros, and we're again trailing this game, and we have our work cut out for us. So let's berate the players. And as I was saying, we know it happens in real life. For instance, I live in the Netherlands, and we have that all the time with Ajax or some other big club poaching young players from other teams. Young players that are like 15, 16-year-old. So that would be cool to see in a future game. And even though it will probably, now that I've said that, it will probably come back to haunt me. If they do add that in, I will probably lose my best youth players to some other clubs. And then I will say that I hate that feature and it needs to be removed. But I do think it's a cool thing. It does just add a little bit more realism, because, as I said, it does also happen in real life, as Ferencváros have taken the lead, I was going to say, but they already had the lead. But they've scored another goal. Now it's 3-1 to them. And that's probably going to be the end of the game. Imre Nemeth tries to go for it, but his shot gets saved. And it's going to be really hard for us to get anything from this game now. So let's get Beignet off for Kata. And we've made our 3 subs. And let's demand more from the players. It's not like we're completely out of it, like we have had no chance at all. But in the end, we just don't have enough quality, even though Imre Nemeth does make it 3-2. Don't go off celebrating. Just grab that ball, get it to the middle of the pitch, and we go again. We have got 21 minutes left, so we can still get another goal. Gosdog is going to take the corner kick. Kata with the header, but it's cleared. Komaromi picks up the loose ball and passes it all the way back to Kashtar. And that's the end of that highlight. We do have another throw in here. Come on. One more goal to keep us in the title race. One more goal. Nemeth. Why is that not a penalty? Oh, wait. The VAR is going to look at it. And what's the VAR going to say? Come on. Please give it. It is a penalty. Nemeth's going to take it. And we actually couldn't see what happened. But apparently it's saved. Damn it, Nemeth. He should have definitely scored that. That was our chance to keep ourselves in the title race, and now we're definitely out. As you can see, we're 11 points with just 5 games to go. Ferencváros have won it. They're 6 points ahead of number 2, and MTK aren't going to catch them either, because I do still want to become second, which means that we do still have to beat MTK when we face them in a couple of weeks' time. There's the final whistle. I'm definitely not pleased with that result. So let's talk a little bit. Let's shout a little bit to the players. MTK did win their game in the end. The goals just didn't show yet. So yeah, don't really know what to say. That's a real big blow. That hurts a lot. And there goes our 12-game unbeaten home record. So we're gonna face Feyenoord in a week's time. So I'll see you guys for that match in just a second. And we're here for the game against Feyenoord. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm a little disheartened by the fact that we just lost to Ferencváros. But we're gonna give it our all against Feyenoord to try to come closer to that second place. So here is the 11 players that are gonna try to do it for us. So Dala in goal, Kushnir, Nikolic, Komaromi, and Kashtar, Ksonka, Beignet, Gruber, Gosdok, Kiss, and Korbu. So a little bit of a rotated side. Couple of players a little bit injured. For instance, Nemeth is a little bit injured. That's why he's not playing. Shento is injured. I meant that Nemeth is tired, not injured. Who else? Philip was injured. He got injured about 2 weeks ago. So 2 changes from the last match, as you can see right there. So Nikolic in for Bobal and Korbu in for Nemeth. So we don't really have a natural striker. But I know that Korbu can still score goals. He did that on a pretty regular basis a couple of seasons ago, so I have the confidence in him to do the same again. And Feyenoord, this is a pretty important game. They are in 4th, we're in 3rd. If we do beat them, then we are qualified for the Europa League 2, for sure. So we're gonna try to do at least that, and then of course hope that MTK will not do their job and they will drop some points. But first, we have to focus on our own game. Ksonka here is going to try it, hopefully, and he just narrowly misses the goal. A good positive start by us. Not good enough just yet, but only 10 minutes have gone. And we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to come from this match. So, last episode, I told you guys that maybe that the episode after this one could be a triple live com, depending on where we are in the league. But we don't have a chance anymore of becoming champions. Well, mathematically speaking, we do still, but it's very small and it's just not going to happen realistically. So I'm not going to do a triple live com, even though the MTK game will be important. You know what I'll do? I'll do the MTK game, then I'll do that game after that off camera, and then I'll do the last game live again. Again, depending on what the league is looking like. Maybe, you know what? I'll just see that next episode. I will start with the game against MTK. I can guarantee you that unless we lose so many games that we can't even overtake them either. But I don't expect that to happen. Of course, firstly, we do have to beat Feyenoord here today. But when all things go as planned, then we should be back next episode for the game against MTK. So you already know that in advance. I'm probably still going to tell you again at the end of the episode. But I just thought I would share my thought process about that with you guys, so you know how I base my idea on what games I'm gonna do live and what games I'm gonna do off camera. So that's gonna be probably it for next episode. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear my neighbors on the background, as I've said multiple times before, as we get the one Oz disallowed. As I've said multiple times before, all of my neighbors, I live in a flat, in an apartment, so I've got a lot of neighbors. So every time that I start to record, it seems like there's at least one other household that decides to make some noise, either music or vacuuming at 12 o'clock at night, or like they've got right now, it is a Saturday and they're having a little party, even though, you know, COVID is happening, we're in a lockdown, but our neighbors don't care about that. That's their problem. I've got my own problems right here, and our own problems at this point are Feyenoord at home, because we just can't seem to beat them. We did score a goal, as you just saw, Komaromi with the header, but it was offside, and it looks like we're gonna get another draw here. I'm gonna go more attacking. I've said this time and time again that we most of the times that we go attacking we lose, but we have to try something. And right as I say that, Feyenoord get the chance here, and they're probably gonna score it now that I've said that. There they are, and that's offside as well. All right, so luckily for us, it's still 0-0, and that goal is gonna be disallowed. But 0-0 isn't enough either, and it still puts us in a really, really tough spot for the second place. I almost became speechless there, because I thought for a second that free kick went straight into the goal, but it didn't. We may have one final chance here, 1 minute left of injury time, but we lose the ball, and now Feyenoord are going to counter-attack here. As you can see for yourselves, it's going to hurt if they get a goal here, but I do see that happening. And it's taking a long time, but I do see it happening too. And there it is, but a good save. It wasn't a save. They hit the crossbar, okay. So only 10 seconds left, and it's not going to happen anymore. So that means that we're now 7 points behind number 2 MTK with how many games to go? What was it again? So firstly, let's say that I'm far from pleased, because we have now not won so many games back to back. We're now 7 points behind with 4 games to go. So we've now got 1 game off camera in Puskas, and then I'm gonna do the next episode starting with the game against MTK. Unless we actually drop more points against Puskas and we can't even overtake MTK either, then I won't bother to do that game, because then it doesn't mean anything anymore. They won it by a goal in the final minute. They actually scored a goal in injury time, and that is why they won. So we do qualify for the Europa League 2, because we didn't lose to Feyenoord, but we are still in a very bad spot of making it to second place. So that's going to be it for this episode. As I've said to you guys, if we can still overtake MTK, then I will start next episode with that game. If we can't, then I'll just do the last 2 games of the season. Either way, this is going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys for the next episode very soon.